This is Behind the Mitten with Gonzo and Amy Sherman.
And welcome to Behind the Mitten, John Gonzalez, along with Amy Sherman. And Amy, it's like show number 3. Is it 3 already of the new year? Oh my gosh.
It seems crazy. It's number 3, but also number 406. So we are thrilled to be back on the air as Behind the Mitten, Amy Sherman and John Gonzalez. And we're so excited to continue to share these incredible Michigan stories with you. We just came off of a little bit of a run in one of our favorite towns in Michigan.
We spent a lot of time in Gaylord the last couple of weekends getting to hang out with our buddy Paul Beach down there from Tourism Bureau in downtown Gaylord. And, of course, all the fun things happening at Treetops as well.
Absolutely. So many cool things. You know, if you want to follow along with what we've been talking about in the past, you want to follow us on Facebook at Behind the Mitten. We'll share all of the things that we've been visiting over the last couple weeks, and there'll be a lot more to come. But today I'm so excited because this is something, Gonzo, you and I talk about like on the regular, it seems like, which is embracing a Michigan winter.
That's right. And we had to come to a special place to do that and have a special guest to help us to embrace winter.
We did. And I'm so excited to welcome Dave Lorenz from Pure Michigan to help us embrace this Michigan winter. We're here at Boyne Mountain Resort, which has recently undergone a major renovation. And I'm excited to talk about that in a little bit. But Dave, thanks for joining us on Behind the Mitten.
It is so great to be with you guys, and especially to talk about this, because this is something I'm really passionate about. We're in a state with 4 seasons, and to think that so many people think that we should only live in 3 seasons drives me crazy. So just remember, folks, that UP term, and that is, there's no such thing as bad weather, there's only bad clothing, and we need to get out there and enjoy all the wonderful things you can do in Pure Michigan.
You are so right, Dave. So as I was getting ready to come up to Boyne for this weekend, I was packing all of my winter gear, digging around in the basement, and I felt like I probably have like 5 bags, but the whole time I was like, it doesn't matter. As long as I have the right gear, I'm going to be super happy, super comfortable, and I can do any kind of activity I want to do this weekend.
I did the same thing, and I was thrilled at the COVID-20. I could still fit into most of those winter gear, clothes, and so here's the thing. So many people feel like you've got to be a really great skier or a really great whatever to get out there, and that is not the case. And in fact, it's kind of like golfing in the golf season. You don't have to be a great golfer to go out there. Just get out there and have a good time. And in both cases, what is Michigan best known for? Probably in both of those areas, we have tremendous ski and golf schools at our resorts in ski operations for this time of year. Same thing for golf. So we have these people who will show you how to do it so you can really enjoy it.
And you know what, if you forget, your snow pants or whatever, I heard someone as I was checking in who was like, do you have a store here that I can buy snow pants? And I'm like, do we have a store here at Boyne? We have multiple stores here at Boyne, and you're going to get the top end, high line stuff, right? Did you remember all your stuff, Guns?
Well, no, I'm glad that...
No, you didn't?
Well, yes, I did, I think, for the most part. But like Dave, my wife said to me, have you tried on your pants to see if they fit? I'm like, oh my gosh. First I got to find them, number one. And number two is like, so I had the COVID 10, 15, 20. I lost weight, gained weight, but bottom line, I found it because I'm kind of settled in my normal weight.
Well, here's the other thing, guys. We have these little things called stores. So we can go out and buy things, and please do, because our retailers and our restaurants and the travel industry has been so hard hit because of COVID. And so I say, I'm not against buying things online. Don't get me wrong. Just don't do it here. Go and buy something at a local store and support our retailers and restaurants and such, and have a great time when you're doing that. And again, you don't have to have the best and most beautiful gear. Just have a good time.
Well said, Dave Lorenz from Travel Michigan. Great to have you here. You've been a longtime friend, longtime supporter of Behind the Mitten, and we do appreciate that. And we have listeners in Grand Rapids and in Saginaw, and those are 2 areas you love. Let's talk a little bit about Saginaw, because you get there quite a bit, and you love that area.
It's funny. Just before COVID hit, I had talked to the CVB director over there, Annie Rummel, and I said, Annie, it's been a long time since I really spent, really kind of dug in deep and really checked out what's happening today in Saginaw. because I had just driven through and I thought, my gosh, look at all this cool stuff. A lot has happened in Saginaw. So since then, I've been in Saginaw quite a bit, checked out a lot of the restaurants, a lot of times with the Under the Radar Michigan team, making TV shows with them. And I'll tell you, the restaurant scene especially was just fabulous.
Any favorites that you can share with our listeners?
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the names of them. It'd be unfair for me to say because I don't remember the names.
No, that happens.
But I have to tell you, it's tremendous. And I'm a big barbecue fan. There were a couple of barbecue places we went to, just blew my socks off. Fantastic.
We'll have to find out where they are.
I now I'm all like,
let's go.
That whole region, that whole region. Downtown Saginaw has really come along really great, and it's a cool experience. Check out Midland, Bay City.
Yeah.
That whole region offers so much culture and nature and cool city experiences. It's all there.
We have to agree, because I feel like a lot of Michiganders kind of think about Frankenmuth and they'll go and visit there, and they don't think about going to Bay City or Saginaw or Midland, which I know John and I have had incredible experiences in that Tri-City region, and not to mention, it's stunningly beautiful.
Well, think about, wintertime. You think, well, would you go to Saginaw area in wintertime? You bet you would go to that area. And, think about a place like Dow Gardens and the Whiting Forest and that canopy that you can walk up into the trees. I wouldn't say the leaves because they're on right now, but you can be on the longest treetop canopy in the country is right here in Michigan, right there at Whiting Forest. And just, Midland area, it's a beautiful, beautiful little town to check out. So you should do it. And don't wait until spring or summer. Do it now.
Well, I know that it is, our theme of the show is Embrace Winter, and you can do that in your own hometown. If you're in Saginaw or Grand Rapids, I know they have their Winter Wonderland Festival going on through March 6th as well. So there's a lot to do in any small town in Michigan.
Absolutely true. Not only events, which you should also look for, and we try to suggest that people go to Michigan.org and then check that events section. If you want to go to a certain place, you can kind of tune it in and then find out what's happening. Say your trip begins at Michigan.org, and then go out and do it. Go out and do these things because you'll love it so much.
Yeah, you certainly will. And I love discovering new places, Dave. Is there a place you haven't been to in Michigan?
It's funny. People ask me that all the time, and every time I think that I have been everywhere, then I find other places. So
I was just talking about this, Dave, about how I still have a Michigan bucket list.
Yeah.
Do you still have a Michigan bucket list?
Well, of places that maybe I want to spend more time in. So you think about places like Drummond Island. I've been there. I just haven't spent enough time there.
Yeah.
And it's one of those places, again, this time of the year, snowmobiling is a really cool thing to do there. And then in kind of the mud season, that's one of the best places to go if you're a ATVer or an ORVer. They offer great experiences. If you want to do something unique like skeet shooting, you can do that there. They'll show you how to do it. They have all the equipment, and it's just fun. These are unique experiences, I think, that you can only find in those combinations right here in Pure Michigan.
I want to see Dave Lorenzo on ATV.
I want to see skeet shooting. What are you talking about?
I was pretty good. My own hunting skills that I learned as a kid.
I love it. Well, one thing I think about a lot is I might have a bucket list, but it changes with the season. Mm-hmm. So my bucket list is different for the summer than it is for the winter. Sure. And right now, we talk about this a lot, but I'm not lying. It's still on my bucket list to do it again, is to winter raft down the Sturgeon in Gaylord, because it's so amazing.
You can do that. You can also do the same thing on the Pine River in Cadillac. There's an outfitter there. And don't forget about, in Muskegon, the Winter Sports Complex, where you can learn how to luge.
What are we doing this winter?
We're losing.
I'm one of the best lugers in the world.
Oh.
Can you come as our mentor?
Lugers or losers? It was one of those. I know it was one of those.
Well, I am going to bring you in as our mentor when we go luging, because that is on our list for this year. That we're going to. I don't know if we're going to do it actually together, but we're doing it.
I tell you, and don't watch other people do it first. It'll scare you. Just do it first.
No.
Thanks, Dave.
I know, just do it. Just do it.
Dave, if people want to get more information about all the great activities that are happening across the state of Michigan, where should they go?
Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Great to see you guys.
Most folks know me by the way I live, and I know them as good as they know me. I'm always turning a key while somebody's asleep. I don't mean other people go. The lights on my street never come on, and the lines are over.
Oh, hey everyone, John Gonzalez and Amy Sherman from Behind the Mitten, and today we have a special podcast for you. We're at Treetops Resort in Gaylord, Michigan, where we are learning to ski. I am a novice. Amy, you are, I would say, intermediate level, right, or pro level?
That seems generous. I would say I'm a beginner who's been skiing for 30 years.
A beginner skiing for 30 years. I love it. And then we have a friend with us. Who is it?
We've got our very own Susie Q with us, who has also been a skier for her whole life, raised 2 kids on the slopes, and knows a ton about learning to ski and having a great time while you're doing it. Susie, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, we were just chatting. It's like it's never too young or too old to begin to learn something new. And it's a lifelong passion and sport. And once you're out there, who wouldn't enjoy winter, right?
We agree.
Well, we had to bring an expert to kind of give us some tips and also expand on. We did a clip earlier about 3 tips for beginners, but we know a lot of you are beginners like myself. Some of you are intermediate or long-time beginners like Amy, and we just thought we'd bring someone in to help us out, right? So joining us right now is Mariah Beyer.
Beyer.
Yay, Mariah Beyer. She is the director of ski school here at Treetops Resort, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, good to have you again. We talked about those 3 tips. Let's go over those again. So what was your tip number 1 for new beginners?
Tip number 1 was to take a lesson from a qualified ski school.
And that's something that you have here at Treetops. And what we were just talking about also with Susie is how much fun the instructors at Treetops have giving lessons, no matter the age or your ability, right?
Correct. They have fun with everyone. Sometimes someone might say they're goofing off a little bit, but it's all about putting a smile on the student's face. And they do it in a safe manner. They know what they're doing. But it's really fun just to watch, like a couple of my instructors have fun with a group of kids. It's hilarious. I always think they should be teachers in the school, but they're like, no. We'll stick to ski instructing.
Awesome.
Well, Gonzo, you took a lesson here at Treetops, your very first ski lesson, and just the tips you got on how to even put the boots on, how to walk. There's some really basic things that you have to kind of figure out before you can actually make it down the hill.
Yeah, there are a few things if you've never done it before that you're really kind of, I want to say weirded out about, because you're like, oh, how do you put those ski boots on, right? How do you get locked into the bindings? What are they called? Right? Bindings. Yeah. See, I don't even know the terms.
You got the lingo.
I got the lingo. And then when you get on the skis, you're kind of have to learn how to navigate and just moving a little bit. And then there's other stuff that goes with it that I don't remember. But I remember that. Well, we'll talk about my memories in a minute. But I do remember kind of once you get past that fear and kind of oh, you know what? I'm going to embrace this. I'm going to fall down. No one's going to laugh at me if they do it not loudly, right, Amy? And then you just kind of move on. It's fun. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to tip number 2.
Tip number 2 was bring a friend with you. Learn together. Fun, safe manner. So you know the person that you're learning with. And it's also great to meet new people, but sometimes not everyone has that outrageous personality to do so.
I would say, that just resonated with me is how fun as an intermediate skier, I need to take another brush-up lesson in Ames. We're doing it together.
Ooh. All right, I need help.
We're in it together. Mariah, will that work for you?
Yep, we can definitely do something.
Well, I was saying that I think I'm a better skier than I believe I am, but I get so freaked out every time because I don't want to fall now because I'm a little old, right? That I'm a terrible skier. I got to pizza all the way down all the time.
No, and in fact, I've seen you ski, and I feel like we're 2 peas in the pod coming down because we're cautious. Yeah, we're the 50+ crowd, right? But it's the adventure of it, and it's the fresh air of it, and it's the love of downhill. Just it's empowering, really.
I'm just thrilled that I knew what you were saying, Amy, when you said pizza. So I feel like, I did learn something at ski school because I know what that means. I also remember there was a word called French fry, but I don't know what that means. What does that mean, Mariah?
That is a word that we associate with parallel skis.
Ah, okay,
yes.
Makes sense. French fry and pizza, right? Those
Correct.
are the 2 technical terms to remember.
Yeah, especially